Creepers left to rise, buzz like crazy. Everybody's trying to steal my lady. Spiders in the mirror and things can't be right. Back to the scene of a Friday night, to a blessed collision still frozen tight. Spear drinkers, Cupid and the sound of her first chime. And why did you argue? We're dreaming of those eyes, the best part of my life. And when we make love, babe, don't make a sound. The clock won't turn around. Ooh, you turn around. 2,000 little fires. And ooh, your circle is spreading. Slowing things down when I wanted to race. Catching up again when you try to chase. Feels like we're playing space. You always find a way to make up, right? Even when we're such a fly. Even when tensions run high. You gotta soften up your sleeves, girl. You're never enough, babe. Dreaming of those eyes, best part of my life. 'Cause when we make love, babe, the world don't make a sound. The clock won't turn around. Ooh, you turn around. 1,000 little fires. And no, your circle is spreading around for miles. Never.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another reading vlog. And guess what? We have another readathon this week. So that's what this week's reading vlog is going to be about. It is the historical romance readathon, which, hold on. Books falling off my lap. I got a huge stack of books I'm going to show you that I want to read this week. Yeah, so readathon. I love readathons. This is the historical romance readathon hosted by Lisa, Lacey, and Jess. I've done this readathon every single time they have hosted it. I think I have a reading vlog for everyone except for the first one because I didn't have a booktube channel when they did the first one. So I'm excited, and yeah, it is a chilly day. It's actually Monday when I'm starting this vlog, but it's Monday afternoon. It's 2 o'clock here. I just have had literally one of the most bonkers days that I've ever had. Like, not anything really crazy, but just like one of those days where you're just running around and you feel like you're not getting anything done and it's a little stressful. So I'm finally ready to sit down to work and listen to this audiobook. I have started it. I'll tell you which one I started after I go through my TBR, but I'm not super far into it. Okay, so the hosts put together a bingo board with a lot of prompts, and I was really trying to find some books that I wanted to read, but that maybe were not top priority to some of them. Some of these were top priority, so I could force myself to read them. So I picked a lot of books and a lot of prompts, but these are the books that I'm hoping to read at least a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 6 books here that I'm hoping to read. We'll see how my week goes. Maybe I'll get through 6. Maybe I'll only make it through 2 or 3. We'll see what happens as I get into these. Also, I'm not above DNFing a book if it's not working or swapping something out for another one that I have on my TBR, but I did want to try and read books that I already owned on my shelves. So The prompts, the books that I picked and the prompts that go with them. So one is Any Duchess Will Do by Tessa Dare. This book is for the prompt of Rags to Riches Hero. I still have not read this one, and I have rediscovered a love for Tessa Dare recently, so I am excited about that one. Another book for that prompt, Rags to Riches Hero, is Between the Devil and the Duke by Lorraine Heath. This is the second book in the Scoundrels of St. James. I actually have started this, and then I kind of put it on hold as I was reading books for the Sarah J. Maas read-along and then the Mafia Romance Readathon, so I didn't get to finish this, but I did start it. But that's for Rags to Riches Hero, so I have 2 books for that prompt, and I put those both on there because I feel like those are the authors that I know will deliver for me. Those are books that I'm pretty sure I'm going to love, and I wanted to have some on here like that. The rest of these are... Actually, 3 of the rest that I have here are new to me authors, and I'm a little nervous about them. So, another book that I picked up that I really want to get to, I bought this in a lot of books on eBay to get actually a Sherry Thomas book I was looking for. But this book came with it. It's in beautiful condition, and I really would love to try this author. So this is Galen Foley, and the book is My Dangerous Duke, and I picked this for the clinch cover prompt because that's a beautiful clinch. That is a beautiful clinch cover. Focus on my face. That's a beautiful clinch cover, and yeah, so that's what that one is for. And then I also have, okay, this next book, where is it at? Okay. This next book is one that I have been wanting to read forever. I've had this book sitting on my shelves for a very long time because I heard great things about this author and I love the cover, and it is this one by Julie Ann Long. This is What I Did for a Duke. This is part of her Pennyroyal Green series, so that's what I am counting this book for, is prompt in a series. I think this is like book 5. I definitely haven't read up to this point, but I'm gonna wing it and try this one out of order, and hopefully I will love it. So, but isn't that just such a beautiful cover? I don't know. It looks so magical. I love it. I also feel like this one almost could be, this one sounds like it has a little bit of a revenge plot, and maybe, possibly Enemies to Lovers. I know Enemies to Lovers is another prompt on here, but we'll just call it book in a series. So, what else? What else? What else? My phone went black. Okay. So the next book that I have is actually the book that I have already started, and it is The Black Hawk by Joanna Bourne. I have heard good things about this book from Ava Leigh. She really liked this book, and I think that's really actually what put this on my radar. This one also came in that lot that I bought on eBay that had the Sherry Thomas book in it, and I immediately recognized this as one that Ava Leigh had told me. This one has a really dumb step back. It's an Eiffel Tower, like... I mean, yeah, that's great, but it's not that pretty, and it's not sexy at all, so who cares? But, so this book is interesting. This one fits the prompt of spy and second chance romance. I started this book this morning. I am 7 chapters in. I'm listening to the audiobook, so about... not even quite 50 pages. I'm about this far into it right now on the audiobook. And it starts with a really fantastic opening scene where we have our heroine who is a spy, and she ends up getting injured and lands and drags herself basically to the Black Hawk, who is her former lover, I believe. Are they former lovers or just sort of had feelings for each other? Let's see. Okay. The man she once loved and the man she now hates, Adrian Hawkhurst. That is who she goes to, thinking that he's the only one who can save her, because... Okay, so she is a secret agent, someone is stalking her, the assassin strikes, and then she ends up at the Black Hawk, Adrian Hawkhurst's home, trying to get saved. Adrian wanted the treacherous beauty known as Owl, that's the heroine's code name, Owl, back in his bed, but not wounded and clinging to life, so he wanted her back. Ooh, I love it. Now as he helps her heal, the two must learn to trust each other, to confront the hidden menace that's trying to kill them, and survive long enough to explore the simmering passion between them once again. Okay, so I'm really enjoying this book. Like, it's very, like, the stakes are high, the writing is solid, it's, like, really intriguing me, and I'm having a really good time with it. But again, I'm only about 40 pages in, so you know, if it's going to be good, it's usually going to be the first of it because that's the part that's sold and the most heavily edited. So very excited about this. This is my current read. That's what I'll be updating you on next. And then the last book on this TBR is a heavy hitter. It's a heavy hitter. It's an emotional book. It's a book I have been wanting to read forever that kind of terrifies me. And I don't know if I'm going to get to it or not. Honestly, I feel like of all of these books, this is one that I want to read really badly, but I also feel like this is one that I might not get to this week, and it is Flowers from the Storm by Laura Kinsale. I think that this is some people's all-time favorite books, and this is some people's least favorite books. So I'm really curious to see how I feel about that. I know that this is pretty emotional. And it's a thick, like, it's very long. I do have the audiobook, but it's also a long audiobook. So, here is my stack of books. Here is my stack of books. It's Monday. We're going to do all the reading and hopefully get to all these books. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, it would be. All right. I will get to work now, and I'll check in with you all later once I have something to talk about with Spy, Assassin, Second Chance Romance. See you soon. Hello, my friends. I just have to show you little Miss Wanda. Little Miss Wanda. Little Miss Wanda. Look at the camera, Wanda. Look at that good haircut. I got a big girl haircut. And I look like a big schnauzer. You're such a good girl. I do have her and Kazi separated because chaos ensues if they are not at this point in time when I want to film something. So stop focusing on that light. Focus on my face. Okay. Hello, how are you? There's a little Wanda update for you. So, well, my friends, I have done a pretty terrible job of vlogging because today is Friday. Today is Friday, and I have finished 2 books, and I'm on my 3rd book right now. So let's talk about the books that I've read. So, The Black Hawk. I had pretty high expectations for this. I really, really loved the setup. I cannot even tell you how excited I was with the opening scene in here when she is a spy and she gets, you know, attacked by an assassin, is bleeding, and drags her bleeding body to the home of her former love, now her enemy, who, like, she knows he's the only one that she can trust to help her not die. She found a bone. And I was so excited about that. I was like, this is gonna be good. And I think that maybe that set my expectations a little high because that is not at all what happened here. I ended up giving this book 3 stars. It wasn't bad at all. This author is a really beautiful writer. She has really great prose, and I really loved that. Like, her writing just was a delight to read. However, I found her storytelling to be a bit lacking, and I'm not sure if that's because, like I said, like, my expectations were so high, or that this is book 4 in a series and maybe I was missing backstory or context that I didn't get because I just jumped in right here, because it definitely felt like there was something missing to their relationship and their characterization, even though this book does something that that doesn't usually bother me, but it did here, where it goes back in the past to show, you know, their past self, how they knew each other, some scenes from their early life. And honestly, I don't mind that. I like flashbacks. I most often find them to be very interesting and add a lot to the story, but it didn't really work for me here, and I think the reason why is because every time we jumped back, it felt like what we were being shown wasn't really crucial to this story or even these characters. And I also want to say that this has some pretty heavy material in here. The heroine is a victim of rape and sexual assault as a child, and that's often talked about. And, I mean, this book, I think this was published in, like, 2011, so it's, you know, I wouldn't expect it to come with content warnings. I don't know really anybody who's read this. Yeah, this was published in 2011, so I don't know anybody really who's read this to provide those content warnings in their review, but it was just, like, something I wasn't expecting. I felt like this was going to be a very passionate, very fun, you know, like, I really wanted the spy plot, like, fun in that way. And I wasn't really expecting the heavy content for the childhood rape and sexual assault, so I don't that kind of made me really not enjoy this. Like, honestly, like, I'm not, like, detracting points because it had that content. It's mostly just the heavy tone and the heavy feel wasn't something that I really wanted to read. Honestly, I kind of feel like in a lot of ways, ever since I read The Confidence of Wildflowers, like, I am really, really, really going to tread carefully into books that come labeled as emotional or heavy, because in the hands of a not so talented author, such as the author of The Confidence of Wildflowers, it's just a complete shite show of trauma, you know, and just like, no thank you. I don't want trauma just for trauma's sake. I don't want trauma just for shock value. But I've talked a lot about that in recent videos, so I will end that here. But so I didn't really feel a connection between these two. Also, before I forget, so I was about halfway through this book and I was really tempted to DNF it because I just was so bored. This pacing in here is also pretty far off. Like, the pacing is very slow, non-existent, not much story, a lot of backstory, which didn't really seem to contribute to this story. Like, honestly, I don't even know what the story was here, other than they used to have a thing and now they didn't and she got cut, and then, oh, all this other backstory. So, I don't know, I didn't enjoy this a lot, but it wasn't poorly written, and so for that alone, like, I don't want to give it a 2-star because there wasn't really anything in here that made me upset or made me, like, hate this book. The writing was solid, and I was really so impressed with her writing style, that her writing, not her storytelling. Like, this is a good example of a book that has really beautiful writing, but is a little bit weak on the storytelling elements because the pacing, the story wasn't tight. Like, the writing was tight. The quality of her words, you know, the words that she used to convey emotion about the characters, that was tight. But the plot, the pacing, I don't even really want to say plot, the pacing of this book, you know, bringing this couple together, had to check on Wanda, bringing this couple together, trying to provide a story for why this is a romance, and it just didn't work that way. It felt more like fiction than, more like historical fiction than historical romance. So anyway, when I got halfway through, you know, Amazon guy. So when I got halfway through, I went to go look up reviews and see what people were saying about this, because I'm like, I'm not having a great time. I'm bored and down because of the heavy content. And so I went and I read one review, and that person said that this had one of the most emotional and sexy love scenes they'd ever read. And so I was like, okay. So I was gonna, like, hang on till I got to that, and I did. I mean, I finished the book. But by the time I got to the sex scene, I don't know what that person was judging it against. I don't know if they didn't typically read historical romance or romance in general, because this is truly one of the driest, most clinical sex scenes that I've ever read in my life. Like, it wasn't emotional at all. It wasn't passionate. It wasn't sexy. It was literally just almost like textbook, like an instruction manual, plot point A to point, you know, like, I didn't like it. So, a lot to not like about this. Her writing intrigues me enough that I am really curious what the first book in this series is like, and I may go back and pick that up, because, yeah, it says author of The Forbidden Rose, one of the best books of the year. Interesting. I mean, she is a very talented writer, and I wonder if other books may be a better storytelling, have a better storytelling aspect to them. I mean, like The Forbidden Rose, that is the sticker on the front, there's a ton of awards. Like, it's starred review, best romance of the year, best of 2010 list, best books of 2010, best 2010 romance novels. Like, I kind of want to read that now. I'm going to have to track that down, but not for a while, because, this was boring. So, 3 stars. This, however, filled the prompt for spies and second chance romance. So 2 for that one. So then, after that, I decided, you know, I had such a great time in the Mafia Romance Readathon, and, you know, I've been a little slumpy and this whole year, and I feel like that book, I didn't love it, and I was kind of like, not excited about reading. So then I decided I was going to go to one of the books I had on my TBR that was going to be like my Old Faithful writers, which was the second book in the Scoundrels of St. James series by Lorraine Heath, Between the Devil and Desire. I loved this book. I gave this book 5 stars. I thought it was fantastic. I love Jack Dodger, and I was so excited to get his story. He's a fantastic character. He's a very interesting hero. He's a very complex character. I loved getting his backstory in here. I loved the setup of a widow that Jack comes in, he's, you know, a made man. He has a tragic backstory. He was one of Fagin's orphans, basically. And he is now a made man who's very financially successful, but isn't, you know, respected in the ton. And he comes into this story because, I believe he's the Duke. I don't remember. The widow's husband who died. Jack is announced as the guardian of that widow's son, little Harry. And the widow, Olivia, she's just like, I cannot understand how you are the guardian. And something that I did not know that is heartbreaking, if it is true, because I know this is, you know, historical romance, is that because it wasn't in the will, the mother did not get guardianship of her child. Can you... no. So that was like gut punch. And that added a whole layer of drama and like suspense almost, because I was wondering, like, how is this going to work out? How's she going to get like custody of her kid? And here I am thinking the whole time, like, just marry her, you know, like then it will be fine. So that's the romances between this widow and Jack. And right from the beginning, they've got a ton of chemistry. And she is a woman who gave her husband an heir. And once she did, he never wanted her in his bed again. And so she's felt a lot of discomfort with that and a lot of doubt about her appeal and feeling like there's something wrong with her, you know. So she's a very sexual person, and she feels all of these things for Jack right when she sees him. And she's like, I shouldn't be feeling this because he's a scoundrel. And, you know, she's very much a lady. But she still does, nonetheless. And Jack feels the same way about her. And I would say that this romance is pretty slow building, which I am a fan of if it's done right. And I felt like it was done right here. The tension was fantastic between these two. When they finally get together, it was just so satisfying. And I loved it so much. I loved the addition of Henry, the little boy. I love that he gets a little puppy. Obviously, I love that. I just really loved the story. I also really liked the background plot. I would say content warning for child abuse and pedophilia in here, which is, it wasn't shocking to me. I felt like that was very much hinted at and foreshadowed at, even in book 1, but especially in book 2. So it wasn't a surprise when that happened, but it was still not super fun to read about. But it did, I feel like it made sense to the overall story. Yeah, so I loved Jack and Olivia. I loved watching this man who, you know, his only relations with women had been transactional with, you know, like whores who he paid money to. He's never been with someone that he had feelings for, and she has also never really been with someone who treasured her and cherished her, and it was just beautiful. I enjoyed this a ton. 5 stars. I thought it was fantastic. I really, really liked this, and now I'm even more excited to get to book 3. This is shaping out to be a wonderful series, and I can see why it's so well loved, because this was a great time. So this one filled the prompt for Single Parent and Rags to Riches Hero. So 2 books, 4 prompts. So now, in order for me to get a bingo, I only need 1 more prompt, and the prompt that I need is in a series. And honestly, either one of those books would count for that, but I wanted to read at least 3 books for this reading vlog. We'll see if I get any more done. I don't know if I will or not. I would like to, but I'm also kind of feeling pulled to read other things. Like, I just bought a sci-fi romance I really want to read, and I just bought a mafia romance that I really want to read. So, I don't know, but the 3rd book that I picked up for in a series, just gotta watch her every so often to see her little bum right there. Okay, so the 3rd book that I picked up is this book by Julie Ann Long, which is What I Did for a Duke. I talked about this earlier. Beautiful, beautiful cover. Honestly, I just adore this cover. Will you focus on it? It's so pretty, it's so magical. So this book is interesting because this is book 5 in the Penny Royal Green series, and I haven't read the first 4 books, so Don't yell at me about that, okay? I just wanted to read this book, okay? And sometimes I do that and I regret it, and sometimes I do that and it's fine, so we'll see how it goes. But I am this far into it right now. I'm on chapter 9, 134 pages in. And I'm enjoying it. I definitely am enjoying it. This is a very interesting book. This is an age gap. Our hero has silver hair. He is basically, it says on the back, he's an object of fear, fascination, and fantasy. He is the formidable Alexander Moncrief, Duke of Falconbridge. The Ton knows one thing for certain, only fools dare cross him. So, that's very intriguing. So, somebody does cross him, of course. It's Ian Eversea, and he ends up in bed with the Duke's fiancée, and the Duke catches him. So, the Duke is so humiliated by this that he is going to make this man pay, so he decides that he is going to seduce his sister, who is the only one of the Eversea family who hasn't been touched by scandal. He's going to seduce her and then reject her and humiliate her in that way. However, he's not prepared for how much she appeals to him, her wit. There's a lot of great... Oh no, here we go with the pups. Sharp wit tempered by gentleness, passion simmering beneath her cool control. So I am excited about this. I will say it's pretty slow moving. A lot of this first beginning was the fallout of what happened with his fiancée and this other man, him and the Duke. So the heroine and the hero have kind of just barely started meeting, and they have really great banter, and the Duke is a huge fan of innuendo, and it's fun. It's very fun. I'm very intrigued to see if it wins me over for a 5-star read, because I've heard really good things about this one. So this is my current read. I'm gonna update you guys when I finish this, and we will see if I have time or inclination for one more. If I do, I think I may go off my TBR and pick a different book I've got my eye on. We'll see. We'll see. So far, we've had one miss, but interested in reading more from this author's writing, and one hit. So not surprised at all about this. Kind of disappointed about this one. And hopefully this one wins me over too. So that's your reading update. Those are the books that I've been reading. I gotta separate these two before they cause a ruckus. So, all right, my friends, I'll check in with you in a bit.
The last breath of summer is blowing down our necks, and soon we'll wave goodbye to the fleeting bliss. Because you are like a tidal wave, ripping up my life, not living without a trace. And you know that I'm your silent patient. You know I'm your silent patient. I've been waiting to hold me up. I'll be holding on through the winter for your kiss to wake me up. Now with the colors of spring, my heart will blossom up again. The speed in her heart, and with your smile it will erupt. And I collect all I can, set aside all the supplies. Your kisses and warmness to get through it.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Today, we're in my youngest son Flint's room. So Cosmo is actually his dog, so here's Cosmo's crate. which he sleeps in still. And then he's got his little figurines and comic books over there. So this is fun. But I finished a book. I finished the last book for the historical romance readathon, and I wanted to talk to you about it. So I finished What I Did for a Duke by Julianne Long. And again, this is book 5 in the Pennyroyal Green series, and I did read it out of order. And I don't feel like that was a detriment to the story, because the romance really, none of the, the characters definitely have shown up in previous books, I'm pretty sure. However, they don't necessarily, I'm looking out the window, our backyard is over there, my oldest son my middle boy just let Wanda out. Okay, what was I saying? I'm so sorry, I'm distracted. The characters surely do show up in previous books, so you have some character insight to them. However, the romance is very much contained in this book. Like, none of the romance happens or is developed in previous books, it only happens in this book. And I have kind of conflicted feelings about this, because I feel like for a large portion of the book, we were developing the scenario that was going to lead into the Duke wanting to get revenge on the man who basically, like, cuckolded him, and he was going to do that by taking that man's sister and seducing her and then abandoning her, basically. So I felt like there was a whole lot of setup to lay the groundwork for that basic plot, and I felt like it was a little slow going. Like, I feel like this book took me quite a while to get into. It took me probably until I was halfway through, honestly, until they kiss for the first time, that I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna want to DNF this, and I don't want to DNF it because I really wanted to read it, but for some reason, it just wasn't quite hitting me. I think that's something I noticed in another book of hers that I read, the book that came out last summer in her new series, had the same type of feeling where it just felt like a lot of groundwork was happening before our couple really started having feelings or having interludes or any type of romance built up. It was all like background story set up. The stage was being set for them to have their relationship. So I didn't love that. I felt like I feel like there's a better way to have done that, because it really did take quite a long time. And I also didn't necessarily love this hero. This hero, I mean, this is an age gap romance. He's older than the heroine. He has been married before. He lost his wife and infant son very tragically. And he loved her. And that has definitely affected him the rest of his life, obviously. And I think I was slightly disappointed in how this romance played out. I was hoping for more softening of him towards her, and he really honestly didn't until the very end. And a lot of it was just his attraction and desire towards her, which also wasn't necessarily overt, I didn't feel like. Like, this isn't a super knock your socks off steamy book, although their physical connection is definitely the driving force in their relationship, as well as the subterfuge that the Duke has planned for the reason for this relationship. So I left reading this book feeling satisfied with the ending, but not satisfied with my reading experience. I feel like there were more downfalls to this than there were positives. I mean, like, their first kiss, I do have to say, their first kiss is one of the most romantic and sensual kisses that I have ever read, that took up a lot of page space, which I honestly love. I feel like too often that part is skipped and we just end up getting to the naked parts, and I love a good kiss in a book. Like, it just sends my heart into a flutter, and I just love it so much. So this had a deliciously sensuous first kiss between them, filled with tension and a little bit of that tension easing, and that was the first moment where you could see there was something else here, that there was something else that the Duke felt for her other than just a means to an end, And, like, the hair grab, I'm a sucker for that. So I loved that, and once that happened, my expectations were really low before that, and then they kissed, and I was like, oh, okay. So I was just talking to Jessin about this book, and she mentioned that, because she's reading this series in order right now too, and she had just finished this, and she said, when Julianne Long is on, she's really on, and I felt like that was so evident in this book, because the parts that I loved were great, like so good, but there just weren't enough of them, and there was a lot of filler story, there was a lot of interactions with other characters that weren't necessarily our couple. And I just was hoping for more. I was hoping for more romance. I was hoping for more swoon. I was hoping for more of them together. And I just didn't feel like I got a lot of that was satisfying to me. So I feel like this is a 3-star read, but I would say it's a high 3-star. Like this is a, when I think about the other book that I read, the Joanna Bourne one, The Black Hawk, this was a low 3-star. This was a low 3-star, and this was a very high 3-star. So I kind of wavered, like, is it a 4-star? Is it a, sometimes I say I don't do half-star ratings, but this is a book where I'm tempted to do 3.5 stars, because it really wasn't, the good parts in here were really good, but there was a lot that was just ho-hum, you know what I mean? So, didn't knock my socks off, but I also didn't hate it, and I definitely am intrigued. I want to go back and read this series from the beginning, so I actually put the other books on hold at my library, so I'm excited to get to those. So I liked this book. The good parts I will never forget, but overall, I was kind of disappointed with it. So this filled the prompt for clinch cover and in a series. So I did get a bingo. I got a bingo. I was hoping to read all 6 books, but I only read 3. But I still think that's really good for this week, so let's just go over real quick. The Black Hawk, 3 stars, was let down with the plot. There wasn't enough romance. This was just disappointing and one of the most clinical sex scenes I've ever read. I had high expectations for that, not gonna lie. And then I read my favorite book of the week, which was Between the Devil and Desire by Lorraine Heath. I adored this book. I thought it was fantastic. I just loved it, and I can't wait to read the next one. This was fantastic. And then I read What I Did for a Duke, which I just talked about. 3.5 stars. I'm going to go ahead and say 3.5 stars. I'll add that in my Goodreads review, but I'm going to keep the star rating at 3 stars. So, liked it. Interested to continue on in the series. So, that's a pretty successful historical romance readathon, I think. I'm happy that I tried a new author and sort of a book I hadn't really heard anything about. And I'm happy that I finally got to this book, which is probably going to compel me to go into this series, because I've heard a ton about the Pennyroyal Green series, and it's one of those books, one of those series that has been on my radar for a very long time that I just haven't quite started. So here we go. All right, and cannot wait to finish more in this series. Lorraine Heath is so good. She's just so good, isn't she? I just love her. So, all right. Now, yesterday was my birthday, and I didn't vlog and didn't really read anything, but I had a really great birthday. Thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday on Instagram, and those of you who came to the YouTube video I posted about complicated couples. Thank you so much for coming to wish me a happy birthday. And I have this box that my dear sweet friend Jen, my little sis, has sent me. Jen from the Book Refuge. We talk daily. She sent me this package. I got it earlier this week, and it's just been sitting here. I've been waiting to open it for my birthday, and she said I could film it, so I'm going to open it for you right now, so you can see me open a present. Okay, so this is what I'm going to open first. I'm very excited. I've been wanting to try these. These are tea drops. She sent me some of these once before. The light in here is so bright, the sunlight. This is beautiful blueberry acai. I am so excited about this. I've been wanting to try. She sent me some tea drops before that I tried and really liked, but this is beautiful, and I can't wait to have this. So I will definitely make this for next week's vlog. Thank you so much, Jen. I love that. That was so sweet of you to send me that. And then let's see, what is this? Oh, she sent me birthday cake truffles. Godiva chocolates. I have the biggest weakness for chocolate, like probably most people do. This is sealed in plastic, so I'm not going to open it right now, but I am going to go eat some of those. I'm very excited about that. Thank you so much, Jen. These are like, it's so nice. I love getting treats like this. Stuff that I wouldn't buy for myself, but that I'm just like so excited about. It makes me feel like a little kid, so thank you so much, Jen. I love that. And then, let's see what else I have. I know she sent me books, which, you know, that's what we all want anyways, right? Oh my gosh, I can't believe she found this book. I have had this book on my wish list, but it's been like out of print. You couldn't find it, and it is the most beautiful cover, and I can't wait to read it, and I want to go read it right now. And it is this Vanessa Kelly book. Can you handle this cover? Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Secrets for Seducing of Royal Bodyguard. Look at that embrace, like seriously. I'm so excited about this. Thank you so much, Jen. I can't believe you found this. This is a brand new edition too. Like, wow. I'm thrilled with that. Thank you so much. Ah, and this book, this one too. Look how beautiful. This one was on my wish list too. I really want to read this series. I haven't read the series yet, and I have some of this series, but I don't have this one. It's stunning. Obviously I love her. She's gorgeous, but like the green dress and the sunset is so beautiful. I love Ava Leigh. She's one of my favorites. Thank you so much, Jen, for that. She sent me a lot of stuff. I'm feeling very spoiled. Okay. And let's see. Oh my gosh. I'm dying. I am literally dying, okay? Look what I have to read now. I am so excited. You know, the funny thing is that I was just thinking, I really want to get back into that series. Thank you so much, Jen. I can't believe Jen has spoiled me. She is just the best little... This cover, you probably know what it is if you know this series. Look. Beautiful. So beautiful. Gosh! I love it. And here's a card. She sent me a card in there. And it says, "Too big, sis." You can't see it because it's so bright. Thank you so much, Jen. I love you so dearly. You are... You know, when I started this BookTube channel, it was just an outlet in 2020, and I needed that, you know, but I never imagined that I would have formed the friendships that I have, specifically with Jen, who is family to me, and I love and adore her so much. So thank you so much for that card. That was amazing. And there's still more, so I'm gonna open them. Yes, look at this. Ooh. I can't wait to read this. I love Kerrigan Bourne, you know. I'm sure you know if you've watched my videos. And I really want to try this mystery series of hers. I just love this cover. Very excited about that. I just actually got the audiobook. So, ready for that one. And then this cover is so stunning. This is one of the most beautiful covers. And like... It's not by one of my favorite authors. It's not, it's not a mass market. It's very, I feel like, understated. And I feel like it's such a good expression of Mary's books. Jen and I both love Mary. And I'm so, so happy with this. This is just stunning. Thank you so much, Jen. You have spoiled me. You have spoiled me, and I love and adore you so much. And just... thank you a million. You are the very best. You are the very best friend, the very best little sis, and I just love her so much, and I'm so grateful for our friendship. I love it. So, all right, we're going to end this vlog here. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far, and feel free to leave me a birthday cake emoji since it was my birthday yesterday. I love y'all, and I'll see you in my next video.